Journey to God's House, chapter 21, entitled, Hey, You're No Bethelite. So the author starts off this chapter this way. I need to make this clear up front. It's impossible to be a Jehovah's Witness and then to become a Bethelite without it going to your head. I don't care who you are, it will mess with you. So he described himself as a young man, early 20s, late teens, and he arrives at Bethel. It's kind of hard not to think of yourself as more important than before and consider yourself more entitled because now you're working for God himself. And he was already being treated as a rock star before he got to Bethel, the time between he was accepted and the time he was left. And I see that myself and with my younger brother who is at Bethel. You are treated differently. You're put on a higher level. And if you're not careful, that stuff does get to your head. He brings out that it was funny to see guys go against their natural inclination to try to actually be humble after becoming a Bethelite. There would be this competition of being more humble to try to out-humble someone else. And you pick up on those guys right away when you're up there. It's all a facade. But anyways, it's weird, as the author mentions, that when you are a Bethelite, all of a sudden you're treated differently, and people that otherwise would give you a hard time and not really take you seriously, for them to start suddenly treating you like you were a circuit or district overseer. It's kind of odd. And this was also the case when you're at Bethel. When you visit a congregation that normally did not have Bethelites around, you would have special treatment. And those come in various different forms. The single women trying to catch your attention, older sisters trying to find someone for their daughter. Then you would have the gratuitous donation that people would give you. People would make meals and dinners for you and so on and so forth. But interestingly, he mentions that at Bethel itself, he was a nobody. He was one of 1,000 people who were Bethelites. So he lived in a world where outside of Bethel, he was a rock star. Inside, he was just a grunt, a nobody. So he said that it was more of a burden than it was a benefit of being a Bethelite. And he gives us a few examples. One was this party that he was going to, and he found out that it was going to be a costume party and that there would be no other Bethelites there. So making the little money that they do, they were hard pressed to find a costume. So what do? They go to the Hopper. The Hopper is where people donate clothes, so on and so forth, for the Bethelites. Other Bethelites may leave stuff there, and people visiting would bring stuff as well. So it was kind of like the Salvation Army for the Bethelites. So anyways, they go to the Hopper, they look for clothes that they could make into a costume, and they ended up going as pirates. And when they got there, things went well. People liked them. The chicks were all over them because they liked their costumes and so on and so forth. But the older sisters, the chaperones, didn't take to them so kindly. They thought they were being immodest and that coming as a pirate was unsuitable for a Christian. And so they were summarily reprimanded by these indignant older sisters with the simple words, "You're no Bethelites." Another instance was where another party he was going to where there would be rich Jehovah's Witness girls who were hot and worldly. And so they finally made it there. They were a little bit late. Seemed like everyone was kind of paired up already So they had to take matters into their own hands. And so he goes and approaches a girl, starts talking to her, having a good time, drinking, dancing, all that good stuff. And then he mentions that he was going to seal the deal by telling her that he was a Bethelite. Well, she didn't like that. She didn't appreciate that. It actually made things worse because now she was accusing him of not being a Bethelite by the way he was talking. And so by the end of the night, she left. He left. He was disappointed because she told him, "You're no Bethelite." So anyways, this is going to conclude this chapter, and thanks for listening. Thank you for taking time to listen to my summary of the book, Journey to God's House. Post your comments, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next chapter.